do think it could be helpful. So as I mentioned before, you know, I taught in Japan, so I have a lot of Japanese students now. Sometimes I meet some beginners, and sometimes they speak to me in Japanese. I respond and I answer in English.
I got it.
So I feel that that's kind of helpful for them too. I don't want to have a chat using Japanese because it's an English class, and it's, you know, it's a limited amount of time. So I try and get them to have the most English input and output as possible. But I think it really depends on where the student is at. Probably if I spoke Spanish, my mid-60s grandma might have picked up English quicker, to be honest. I would admit that.
Okay.
So for her, that would have been probably a little bit helpful. But I think it kind of depends on the student too, and what level they're at and where they're at.
Yeah, you've said it all. I totally agree with you. I think it depends on the student, because some people might get frustrated for not understanding what you're saying, and some people might get motivated because they want to understand what you're saying. So it's like, that's the catch. In fact, you know, exactly. You've had your podcast for quite a while. Why did you start your podcast?
So a couple of reasons. One is that I'm a radio geek. So,
Michael, we have so many things in common, my friend.
That's great. So you're a radio fan too?
Yes, my friend. Yes, I am.
I really like the radio. And so for all of the younger listeners, or viewers, which is probably most people here, before the internet, there was TV, and before the TV, there was radio.
Yep.
And on the radio, in the 1920s and 30s, there were a lot of radio dramas, just like you would watch CSI or Law and Order, or any of those drama programs, or Friends. Those were radio. There were radio programs like that, and they said that radio is the theater of the mind. And I'll never forget that quote. And I've always, I love listening to the radio. I love the radio. I love different kinds of radio programs. Now we have podcasts, which are radio programs on the internet. And so that was one of my motivations. The other motivation for the podcast was, at the time, and this was in 2014, I had started a YouTube channel in about 2012, and I put up a lot of videos, and then I got to know podcasts and what podcasts were. And at the time, so this was in 2014, at the time, cell phone technology was not good enough that you could walk around the streets and watch a YouTube video. And I thought, okay, I can help people learn English with YouTube videos, or I could do podcasts, and it's easier with a podcast because the cell phone signal and the bandwidth is good enough for a podcast, just sound. People can listen in their car. And so I thought that's a great way that I could reach people.
Interesting.
And so that's when I got into doing Learn English podcasts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Which was actually a really good and a bad decision, because I stopped doing YouTube videos for 3 years. I fell behind the curve in that, but I'm still doing those too. Go.
But honestly, my friend, it's really difficult to keep up actually working on 2 different platforms at the same time, because it requires time. It requires a lot of hard work for you to do both, of course, things well. But anyways, you've been doing both things, and they're really well. Congrats.
Thank you. Hence the dark circles, because I don't sleep as I should.
That explains everything, right?
And that's the other reason I like a podcast, because it's just sound.
Come on, Mario. Here in Brazil, every single day, a new teacher comes up with, this magical pill to teach people to learn English fast, let's say in a year or in 18 months. And a lot of people, unfortunately, fall into the trap of believing that they can learn English so fast. Man, what do you think about this so-called fast English courses. What's your personal opinion about that?
Okay, so I have experience as a language learner. There is no
just like me.
Right. There is no magic. There are no secrets. There are no tricks. There are no magic pills or special methods. There's nothing, except that language has input and output.
Exactly.
Input is reading and listening. Output is speaking and writing. If somebody wants to improve their language skills, I believe they need to work on reading, writing, listening, and speaking every day as much as possible. That's the secret. That's the only secret. You see, I see this, like, as you said, like, it's not just in Brazil every day. It's like now that we have the internet and we have, mobile devices, I've noticed over the last few years, everybody that has a laptop and an internet connection is now a teacher.
Yeah.
And that's great because that's awesome that people have the opportunity to do that. But I think we live in the technological world, and language is like music, and you're a musician, so you know this. If you want to play a musical instrument, that's analog. Like, you have to do it every day. You have to practice it every day. You have to keep at it. There is no fast, quick way to learn a musical instrument. And so, because music is a language.
Yep.
And language is a language.
And language is a language. Yeah.
Right. And so there is no fast, easy, simple way to learn a language. I think it takes hard work. It takes effort. It takes, read something every day, listen to something every day, write something every day, and try to speak every day. I think that's the best way to do it.
I couldn't agree more, my friend. Before you go, I know, and we both know, in fact, the real importance of learning idioms and phrasal verbs to speak more naturally and also to better understand native speakers. And taking advantage of that, I'd like you to teach us a new idiom, okay, and a new phrasal verb. Could you do that?
Yes, I can. All right. So every day, I like to start my day with a cup of Joe. Cup of Joe. Joe is an idiom. It's a slang word for coffee.
Okay.
So today I had about 3 cups of Joe.
Joe as in the name?
Joe. J-O-E. It's a cup of Joe. It's a cup of
J-O-E. Okay. It's interesting. Just let me, make a comment here. It's interesting because in English, sometimes you guys use names to refer to certain things, like Joe to refer to coffee, like John to refer to the bathroom. Oh, I got to go to the John.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for guys, especially named John. I need to use the John.
Not to mention Dick, which is a name as well, huh?
That's right. I don't know why we do that.
All right. So thank you. And now a phrasal verb, please.
Okay. Put off.
Good.
Put off is a phrasal verb that means postpone. Yeah. So in other words, if you put off studying, it means you're not going to study today, but you're going to do it tomorrow or do it another day. And don't put off studying English. Just keep at it and keep doing it every day.
Perfect.
Put that off.
Great. Michael, once again, man, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was an amazing interview. It was such a great pleasure for me to spend time here talking with you because I'm your fan. I'm your listener. I'm your viewer because I watch your videos on YouTube as well. So I'm your fan. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Anderson. It was great to talk to you, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
E aí, pessoal, curtiram a entrevista? Bem bacana, né? Vocês tiveram a oportunidade de praticar o listening de vocês e também de aprender tanto um phrasal verb novo como a expressão Joe para café, que honestamente essa eu não conhecia. Como vocês viram, vivendo e aprendendo. Enfim, espero que vocês tenham curtido bastante esse vídeo. Não se esqueçam de se inscrever em nosso canal, caso vocês sejam novos aqui, e também deem um like para fortalecer ainda mais o nosso trabalho aqui no YouTube. Vejo vocês na segunda-feira. Peace!